Hello, everyone, and welcome to your January 2018 forecast. My name is Charlotte Alea. Thank you so much for joining me a little later in the month than I usually do these forecasts due to moving and the flu. I had my hands full during the first week of this month. So I am getting settled into new Dream Intuition headquarters here in La Crescenta, California, and so happy to be in my new sacred workspace and home. So thank you for joining me. And I wanted to kick off this forecast to talk a little bit first about the energies that are present and that we're entering into in 2018. So the yearly energies and themes that we can expect to explore and take advantage of, and some of the precautions that we need to be aware of. So 2018, according to numerology, is 11. It's an 11 year. And that means it is also a 2-year. So I'm going to explore both aspects. So it being an 11 year means that we are, according to the tarot, in the year of justice. So justice is the great equalizer of the tarot. She is the representative of truth, sometimes cold truth, but fair truth. So what that means is that we will begin this year experiencing consequences to our actions that we have made over the last several years. And so this means that if you have not been living according to your highest self, if you have been out of alignment, if you have been causing harm to others, and I know that we can definitely name several people in this world that have been doing that, that person or those forces, those energetic forces, are going to start receiving the consequences to those actions. So it's really about, justice is really about bringing us back into neutral position. And so it also means that things that you have been investing in these past several years, ways that you have been paying forward, are going to begin paying you back, are going to begin creating fruit. You're going to begin to see the outcome of these investments and these ways that you have contributed and given. You're going to begin receiving back. So that's really wonderful for all of us that are living in alignment and doing so much good for the world, because we will begin to feel things start to even out. I know that so many of us have been really struggling with feeling that everything feels so unfair, so out of balance, so unequal. And it's not that everything is going to be straightened out and figured out and brought into balance, but we will see significant shifts back into neutral position, back into equalization of forces within our lives. Equalization of forces within our world, because this is going to be happening on a micro level, so with you, yourself, individually in the life that you run, and on a global level. So environmentally, politically, economically, all those great forces within humanity and within the environment itself, within nature herself. Okay, so we are also in a 2-year, because 1 + 1 = 2. So that is quite significant. 2 is an incredibly powerful type of energy, and it's a huge shift from the 1 energy, the 10 and the 1 energy that we're coming from last year. So 2s represent balancing, polarities, and relationships. So this year you can expect your significant relationships to kind of take center stage. So significant relationships would be romantic, business partners, close friendships, mentors and mentee relationships. So any of those really close and intimate one-on-one relationships that we all have a lot of potential to gain a greater sense of intimacy within our lives and to gain a lot more from those relationships that are really take center stage within our lives. And so that's one of the blessings of being in a 2-year, is really being able to engage intimately, significantly, and vulnerably with those people in our lives that we care about and that have the potential to really impact us and to be transformative forces within our lives as well. So another aspect of 2 energy is making choices, making decisions, and taking action. So last year, being in a 1 and 10 year, it was kind of as if we were all swimming within this huge cauldron of potential and possibilities. We dove deep within ourselves last year. We explored so many shadows. We were really kind of in it, and it might have felt incredibly kind of confusing one moment, enlightening another moment, but it was a year of a lot of inner work and kind of swimming through and kind of figuring out the lay of the land and what the heck is happening, right? And what all those choices are that we might have within our lives. And so now moving into the 2-year, we are ready to kind of step forward, to come out of that cauldron and to choose a path, make a decision, come out of the murk and say yes to something and no to another thing, to start to be really definitive. And so this means that so many of us have great potential this year to really start to make our dreams come true. Make those dreams, those things that have been living within potential, living within the fantasy level within our lives, to start to become reality. So that's really another gift of being in a 2-year. Okay, so here are a few things that a 2-year is not good for. And a 2-year is not a good time to be trying to resolve irreconcilable differences. So another aspect of 2 is polarity and differences becoming starkly apparent. And so when we're in that kind of polarized reality, trying to resolve the differences between those polarities ends up in a clashing of conflict and of butting heads, right? A resolution, a compromise is just not possible. So instead, this year, it's more about learning how to recognize and come to peace with differences. This involves within the relationships in our lives, within the different parts of ourselves significantly, and within bigger global forces, within groups of people. So how can we allow things to not be totally resolved? How can we come to peace with things remaining kind of messy? How can we allow things to be imperfect? It's really about learning how to live with things not being totally resolved within our lives. So this leads me to the next point, that this 2-year of 2018 is not a good year to try to reach perfection. It's not a good year to gain absolute clarity, crystal clear clarity. That's a 1-year. That's a connection to source. When we're in 2, so 1 + 1 = 2. So the 1 reaches out and creates a relationship with another. And so through that reaching out, there's a separation. And so there's always going to be a little bit of a muddle and a little bit of confusion. So this means that our challenge this year is about making a choice, making decisions, and stepping out even when things are not totally clear, even when we cannot come to a complete sense of clarity within ourselves, even when we may still feel a little confused. Because let me tell you, this year we are going to be incredibly challenged by our minds. Our minds want clarity. They want things to be perfect and wrapped up and tied in a bow, and for it to be so clear that this is the choice we need to make. And unfortunately, we are being asked to step out to make a choice without our minds being able to be gifted with that sense of clarity. That's the gift wrapped up in the challenge, that we are being asked to dive deeper within ourselves, beyond our intellect, deep within, to find that sense of truth and to find that sense of trust, to make a decision, to step out, take action anyway, even when things are not clearly wrapped up, even when the future is so unclear and still very much in the unknown. A 2-year really is about stepping into the unknown, stepping forward, even when we don't know what the future holds. It really is about taking risks and being courageous. So just remember that it's okay this year if you feel a little bit muddled on the surface. And that doesn't mean that you're not ready. It actually means that you're being challenged to dig deeper, to find the answers, to find the trust. You're being asked to dive deeper to find the courage to step forward anyway. Okay, so let's move to the cards for January. So I drew 3 tarot cards from my Mary L. tarot deck this month for us all. So I'm going to go ahead and hold each of those cards up so that you can take in the rich imagery, and then I will discuss the meaning and significance that I am drawing from these 3 energies. Okay, so first we have Magician. And then we have Ace of Wands. And then we have Knight of Swords. And this card actually came through reversed, but I'm going to show it upright so that you can take in the imagery. Okay, so let's begin in the center with the Magician, which is our major arcana card of the month and the strongest energy that is coming through. So the Magician is gifting us with a torch of action, of taking inspired action, and to begin planting the seeds. And so what the Magician also gifts us with is a whole load of raw ingredients. And the message the Magician is sharing is that, all right, here's this whole, I want to say, like, pantry of raw ingredients. Here's all this potential of what you can now create within your life. So what do you want to make? It's up to you to start playing with this and to start mixing these ingredients and to start planting these seeds and start growing something and creating something within your life. So really being passed the torch to make something happen within our lives, each of our own lives. And the Magician is really saying it's up to us. That this is the time, this is not the time to sit back. We've been in an incredibly receptive stage these last couple months, and now we're moving into a much more active phase of beginning to make choices. And these choices do not have to be so huge. They're just little actions every day. And something that's been coming through with all the energies that they're coming through for this reading is that what is one thing that you can do every day to start working with this rich array of raw ingredients that you have been given, that you have been gifted with, to create something amazing for yourself this year. So this is also the time to begin setting intentions. Magician also connects us to our desire. So what do you really want? What do you really want beyond the surface? Not what your ego desires. It's time to go deep within your belly and question, what do I really freaking want within my life? And then what is it going to take to get there? A few years ago, I set an intention at the beginning of the year. I can't remember which year this was. I think it might have been 2015. And I set an intention at the beginning of the year to let go of my shame, the shame that had been really holding me back a long time from taking action and doing what I really wanted to do in my life. And so I set an intention that I was not going to be held back by these deep shadows within myself anymore. And then I just simply asked, what's it going to take? What's it going to take to let go of this debilitating shame within myself? And once I asked that question to the universe, things just began moving. My dreams started significantly speaking to me. So much began surfacing, and I was giving choices every day of how to make use of what was surfacing within me, what choices I wanted to make. Because what was happening is that I began to be shown all the pieces that tied into that shame. And so I was then given choices of, do you react to your shame with more shame? Do you push it away? Or do you begin to love yourself and come into a place of compassion? So whatever you are intending for yourself this year, there's always an obstacle in the way. There's always a challenge. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to set intentions. We wouldn't need to, we could just say that it is and it was, and everything would be perfect. And as we're learning this year, nothing's perfect. So what is the challenge that is in the way of you, receiving what you really desire? And asking then the magician within yourself, what's it going to take to work through this, to get through this challenge? And then allowing every day your intuition to begin speaking to you about what that next small action, little micro decisions, one after the other, to get there. So moving on to the second energy in this reading, which is the Ace of Wands, which is actually a close companion to the Magician, I find. So the Ace of Wands really does get us in touch with our deepest desire. It brings us deep within that area below our bellies. If you're a woman, within your womb space, within your sacral chakra, within your reproductive organs, within your sex drive. So it takes us deep into this place within us. That's where we find our desire and our willpower to go after what we really want. So it's both. It's desire, which tells us what we want, and then our will, which allows us and gives us the power to achieve it. So the Ace of Wands is the essence of this within ourselves. It is the fire that burns within us. And so with fire, fire holds great potential to create and to destroy both. So it helps us create and it helps us destroy whatever we're needing to within our lives. So with the Ace, it's the essence of this energy, which is wild, which is uncontrollable, which we then need to coax, control, and direct within our lives. So with the Ace of Wands, the message is we need to pay attention to how we are directing our energy, to where we are directing our energy, because right now it is going to, I want to say, be a foreshadowing effect. It's really going to shift us in a particular direction this year. The beginning of the year is a very powerful time of really creating your direction, of creating a direction of your energy, a flow of where your energy is going to be flowing. Yes, you can shift it in the future, but this is such a significant time. And this time holds a lot of potential and a lot of movement. So you'll find that it's easier right now to really create that direction and that flow of your energy than it will be at other times throughout the year. That is why we're giving and we're being told this opportunity right now to do this, because it's such an easier time. We're not going to be facing so many challenges because we are being gifted with all the raw ingredients right now, so that we can choose any direction that we would like, that we desire. So another significant aspect of this Ace of Wands energy, I want to hold up the card again so you can see this. If you notice, this angel that has been given wings, just as we have now been given our wings, cannot see. This is a feeling-only energy. And this is letting us know that we cannot see what's before us right now. We are creating a direction based only on what it feels, how it feels. So this is a time for us to deepen into our desire and really feel it. Take that desire within the palm of your hand. Get to know it. Get to know it on its deepest, most intricate level. Take it apart. Really, really know what you want, how it feels within your body, and just allow yourself to feel that. Call in whatever that energy is within your own body. Just feel it. Allow yourself to feel it, and that will then move you where you need to go next. Again, one step at a time. It's as if you're sliding your foot and your hands forward. You're on your hands and knees, and you're using all your senses. Your eyes are closed. Maybe you have whiskers and fur, and you're literally just feeling your way forward with each step. Does this feel right? If it doesn't, moving back, shifting. Does this feel right? Yes, this is where I want to be. This is how I want to feel. This is how we want to be moving right now. Because we're in such a beginning stage and we don't have a lot of information to work with. And that's okay. Okay, so moving on to the Knight of Swords. And as I said, this energy came through reversed. And so the Knight of Swords gives us a little bit of precautionary advice this month. And what the Knight of Swords is really saying is don't be hasty. It's okay to go slow. We don't need to be charging forward, running wild. There's a danger this month of using what we already have known, using what we had believed, even when those thoughts and beliefs didn't lead to anything fruitful, even when we might have proven to ourselves multiple times that those truths or beliefs aren't useful within our lives. But there's a comfort there. And when the mind isn't given information, it goes back to what it previously knew. This is just how the mind operates. And so there is a precaution to watch this within ourselves, to watch where we may be going back to old habits because we need to fill in the empty space, because we're wanting to fill in the empty space because that empty space is uncomfortable. And so we're being asked to sit in that discomfort and to not kind of operate on assumptions, and also to not be making conclusions and to be working on expected outcomes, okay? Because your intention is going to kind of say what that final outcome is going to be. Yes, true. But how you get there and how that ends up looking at the end might not be exactly how you worked it out within your mind. Remember that when we create intentions, we will receive what we need, not necessarily what we want. So we want to be able to help our intellect and our minds take a little bit more of a back seat, not be running the whole show for us, so that we don't end up charging ahead and attaching ourselves out of anxiety, out of this anxiety that we're not going to get there, right? There's this anxiety that if we don't make it happen now, it's never going to happen. And that's just not true. We need to allow ourselves to take things slowly, one step at a time. So being dedicated to your intention through that feeling of your desire rather than the outcome that you are currently expecting. This does not mean that we're not moving forward. We are moving forward, but we're just doing it one step at a time. And so how we can engage our intellect right now, because our intellect wants to be engaged, is to allow ourselves to be curious. Okay, so the intellectual mind loves being curious. So allowing ourselves to be curious and allowing ourselves to be discerning too, to explore, to know, to really take in the details of each step that we take, and then to allow our minds to take steps, to really be focusing on just that current step. And it is our minds that we need to engage to help us to take that one step forward. We're feeling it forward, and then our minds, we need to get our minds on board to take that one step, even when we cannot see things totally clearly, even when things might still be a little muddled and confused. To ask our minds to be curious. What's ahead? What's ahead? The mind wants to know. That's how we can engage our mind in a healthy way this month. To keep ourselves in balance within ourselves, within here, and all the way down here. We're learning a new way this year of operating down here rather than up here. Letting this be our guide and letting this follow. And I said at the beginning, this is all about tolerating uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty. So that's our forecast for this month. We are all being given wings. So let's start playing with those wings. Let's start flying. I think that this year is going to be incredibly fun, beginning with these energies that are so full of action and inspiration and desire. It's going to be an incredible year full of so much potential, so much wonderful change for all of us. So on that note, the Sacred Intention Challenge, which is a free 6-day journey, is currently underway, but you can still join for free on my website if you go to dreamintuition.com and click on the free Sacred Intention Challenge link at the top. And through this 6-day process, you will come out with a intention for 2018 that dives deep within yourself, using your intuition to discover what you really want to manifest for yourself this year and how you really desire to change, what your spiritual path looks like. So that is my free gift for you. And if you love these forecasts and if you want to learn more about how I work, this is the best way to really get a feel for my intuitive methods. If you are looking to make some significant changes and transformations within your life this year, I would love to talk to you further about working together more intimately. I have 2 programs that are currently opening for enrollment right now. One is a one-on-one coaching program that's 6 months called Breakthrough, where we really dive deep and work through internal obstacles, external obstacles, do incredible amount of shadow work, and explore all the possibilities. We get you in touch with your spiritual gifts, with your purpose. And so it's really a way for you to begin to gain absolute, deep, radical trust in yourself and to begin living intuitively so that you can have the courage and feel empowered to make changes in your life that are going to lead you to being so much happier, so much more calm, so much more clear, and so much more grounded in who you really are. It's really about helping you discover and begin living your life according to who you really are. So that's one of my programs. The other one is a 12-week group coaching program called Journey. And this is a 12-week vision quest. And so you are going to walk through my 12 stages of personal transformation. And so this is for you if you are looking to shift something in particular within your life, if you're wanting to transform something in particular, if you've reached an obstacle or a block and you just can't seem to get through. So this journey, it's like walking a labyrinth. We're going to journey deep inward to ourselves, to our soul, and then move outward to make those changes and those revelations that we discovered within ourselves a reality. So both of those are open for enrollment. Journey, the group program, begins the beginning of February. And if you go to my website, dreamintuition.com, and click on Work With Me, you can read about both of those opportunities. Thanks so much for being here and for watching this transmission and just really taking it in. And I hope that it will inspire you so much in the next few weeks and beyond that. All right, I will see you again next month.